Mom and Dad started our company in 1955, and they were really bootstrapping to get started, trying to find a cheap building to originally make specialty nuts in, and that building is where we are today in Westminster. It was originally a Quonset hut, and so my dad, who grew up on a dairy farm up in Toledo, he had a vision that pork rinds were a niche that he should get into. Originally, they started with when the meat packers were taking the pork and they were smoking the skin on the bacon, and so it really already had a cooking step that happened in the meat packing plants ahead of us getting the raw skin. And so originally they would take that smoked and cured and dried skin and then just render it at a higher temperature and cooking the oil out of it. Eventually, the meat industry changed what they did, and they cut the skin off before the bacon. All of a sudden, after 2 years of starting to make a little money as a company, they were really without any skin that they could use in their current process. So my mother, who was a home economics teacher by background, she developed our recipe.
When my mom and dad teamed up to start the business, she had a very active role, and she helped my dad create a recipe for our pork rinds that we still use today, that has the best texture, the best appearance, and most importantly, the best flavor of any product that is sold today. And we currently have 60% of the overall market, and we're very proud of that achievement.
We had one plant here in Westminster and then a small plant in Phoenix, Arizona. Now we've kind of expanded it through acquiring some other small competitors and creating our own plants around the country. And so right now we've got the 7 plants around the country, the U.S., and then 1 in Mexico and 2 in Brazil, and then a small operation in Denmark too.
Currently, we're purchasing raw material or raw pork skins from most of the major pork operations in the U.S. and in Canada, and we're buying skins from 30 million hogs annually, or more than 30 million hogs annually, which is a pretty significant number. My parents have really instilled in Rich and I, and also my brother Phil and my sister Susie, the importance of community involvement. And I just think about, kind of reflect over the years of the different projects that my brother Phil and my dad and Rich and I worked together on, whether it was the Rotary Riverwalk when it started, or the Lima YMCA convert the old Wagner's North building into the current Business Services Center, the streetscape and the Civic Center, so it goes on and on.
We're so excited about the revitalization of what's happening. I mean, I think if my dad and mom were still alive, they would love to see what's happening downtown. I know we now have some parts of our offices up on Spring and Main, and with just the momentum in what's happening in downtown, we feel like they would be smiling.
So my parents had this, international business, as my brother spoke, with, different companies in Brazil and all over the world, and they would travel to conventions and you know, just travel for fun also, but they would always come back to Lima or our cottage at Indian Lake, and they would just sit and look out and say, this is the most beautiful area in the whole world, and they just loved it here.